is his domain, almost as much as mine. He has weaponized it. His name is Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash. I am Tempus Fuginaut, and I am looking for hope in the dark earths of the multiverse. This is the world of Flashpoint. It was a reality created by the hope of a single man, Barry Allen, who sought to right the wrongs Thawne wrought on him. One of the brightest, most hopeful of heroes, the Flash doesn't exist here, but his shadow is going to fall across this world. They are opposing forces, positive and negative, each dragging reality behind them in their wake, and a new dark world is forged in the fires of their conflict, with the superpowers at war, and of unlikely allies needing to change a broken world. Dousing yourself with chemicals and plugging into a lightning rod is going to turn you into the fastest man alive. That's how I became the Flash the first time. They say lightning never strikes twice. Why don't we pull the switch and find out? Lightning does strike, but as the hopes Barry Allen has to restore his power rise. This isn't the Speed Force that strikes, it's something else. And what it creates isn't a chance at redemption for Barry Allen. It creates a new point of divergence, a dark flashpoint. Where hope for a restored reality should have been, there is something twisted and broken, something negative, reversed. Well, this unexpected. Batman is on the ground, struggling to move, his body weighed down by pain and exhaustion. He looks up, his voice strained and defiant. Oof, who the hell are you? Standing over him is Reverse Flash, exuding an aura of smug superiority. His words cut through the air like lightning. Don't give up, really don't, he mocks, his voice dripping with sarcasm. He pauses, then addresses a name that carries the weight of history. Ah, Barry, I honestly never expected to see you like this. A twisted smile forms as he muses aloud. What is the reverse of the fastest man alive? The fastest man dead? This really is a paradox. He steps closer, his tone shifting to one of dark contemplation. With you dead, should I even exist? If you never became the Flash, could I ever have become myself? Reverse Flash's eyes gleam with cruel satisfaction as he declares, maybe you've set me free. His voice hardens, a chilling reminder of his obsession. You should never have tried to undo all the work I'd put into your life, Barry. You should have seen all the plans I still had for you. His expression grows colder, his disdain unmistakable. Ah, well, I wish I could say I feel a loss, but all I see is an adversary who wasn't worth my attention. There was so much more that I might have achieved had I not been so focused on you. He kneels slightly, speaking directly to the broken Batman on the ground, his words carrying a grim resolve. I'll wear this now, a badge of honor, a reminder, so I don't let what happened to you happen to me. Batman, despite his injuries, suddenly braces himself and lunges at Reverse Flash in a desperate attempt to attack. But his strike misses, leaving him vulnerable. Reverse Flash doesn't flinch. Instead, he stands tall, exuding unshakable confidence. Suck, Flash mutters before coldly delivering his taunt. You've got no hope against a man like me, Bruce. I could aid you into dust, write you out of time. I could break you into atoms, or I could just push my hand right through your head. But then, something changes. Reverse Flash pauses, his expression shifting to surprise. Wait, what's this? He says, his voice tinged with curiosity and intrigue. I can see your memories. He begins to piece together fragments of a life he should never have seen. You and Barry, scientist from the 25th century obsessed with the power I had, called himself Reverse Flash. His tone grows darker as the realization dawns. Thawne can travel through time. He was the one who killed my mother. The memories flood in faster now, overwhelming him. In the world I know, you were shot and killed, and Bruce became Batman. You called me Bruce when you came in, fast as I used to be. The pieces fit together, the weight of the truth crushing. He can change history, Reverse Flash says, his voice both angry and resigned. He is one of my closest friends. A final devastating thought takes hold. You can change it back so I died and Bruce lived. I have to, he says, determination cutting through his disbelief. Flash's vision sharpens as he peers into the fragments of memory. His voice trembles with realization as he speaks. Not Bruce, you're Thomas Wayne. And you're the one Barry Allen talked about. Thomas Wayne, donning the mantle of Batman in this fractured reality, responds with his trademark dry wit, his voice tinged with bitterness. Thawne from the future, with the stupid name. Reverse Flash, ever the manipulator, steps into the conversation with a twisted smile. His words are laced with mockery and sinister intent. Oh, this is good. I can feel you thinking about it. The changes Barry said he'd make. To save Bruce. Put this world back the way it was. He pauses, savoring the moment before continuing. Hope, I can work with that. Thank you, Barry. Reverse Flash's tone grows more menacing as he stakes his claim on this broken timeline. This world is a gift. I'm going to enjoy this. He turns to leave, his parting words echoing ominously in the shattered silence. Be seeing you, Wayne. Running through this world, I can feel it, coming apart one life at a time. I can hear all their stories, these people, their past and future histories. It's a world on the brink of annihilation, tearing itself apart, hope and despair. Barry's hope of a single life saved dooming billions. He couldn't have made me a finer world. In Washington, D.C., the tension was palpable as Victor stood before the president at the White House. His voice carried both determination and frustration. Batman wouldn't help us, Mr. President. These were the few who agreed to join the fight. Before Victor could continue, Green Lantern cut in, his tone sharp and self-serving. For a price, he interjected, making his motivations clear. Victor pressed on, addressing the room. Right. I'm working on building a robotic army in Detroit, but I'm months away from being ready. The president's response was grim, his words heavy with the weight of impending catastrophe. It's not enough, he said, his tone resolute. Intelligence says Atlantis is aiming to make a move onto U.S. soil any day now. He continued, painting a bleak picture of the world's new power dynamic. With Themyscira holding Britain and Western Europe underwater, it's going to turn into a land grab until there's only one nation left standing. And it's not going to be us. The president's voice grew colder, reflecting on what the nation had lost. We were a superpower once, Victor. Do you remember? Between the combined powers of millions of Atlanteans and Amazons, we're just a mass grave waiting to happen. Then, with a stark finality, he delivered the harsh truth. We need something or someone with a level of power we just don't have. It's not you, Victor, and it's not them. The room fell silent, the weight of the president's words hanging in the air, a dire realization of just how far the world had fallen and how little hope remained. Chaos erupted in the White House as Reverse Flash arrived in a blur of malevolent speed. Without hesitation, he unleashed a devastating assault, taking down everyone in his path. Victor was struck with a bone-crushing force. Green Lantern was overwhelmed, and even the president himself was not spared the terror. Amid the carnage, Reverse Flash turned his attention to Green Lantern's companion, delivering a lethal lightning strike that reduced her to nothing but bone. The sheer brutality left everyone in shock, those who remained conscious, that is. Victor tried to fight back, but with a single, devastating punch, Reverse Flash sent him flying through the walls of the White House, landing outside in the rubble. Inside, the president, now paralyzed with fear, looked up at the speeding villain. His voice trembled as he pleaded, "What the fuck? Please don't hurt me." Reverse Flash smirked, his reply dripping with a twisted sense of control. "I'm not going to kill you, Mr. President," he said, his tone eerily calm amidst the chaos. "I've put a lot of time into you." Reverse Flash loomed over the president, his tone smug and dripping with authority. "I created you," he declared, his words laced with menace. "Sit down, I'll explain." The president, trembling, obeyed as Reverse Flash continued his chilling monologue. "There should have been another man in that chair, a man of deep conviction and principle, a man who could inspire a nation. But I chose you. I whispered in the right ears, suggested things to the right people. I encouraged you." He leaned in closer, his voice now laced with cruel amusement. "Do you remember me all those years? A blink, and I was gone." Outside the White House, amidst the chaos and the dead soldiers left in Reverse Flash's wake, Victor, battered but defiant, activated his communicator. "This is Cyborg. POTUS is under attack. Repeat, the president is under attack." But Reverse Flash's sinister narrative wasn't finished. He glanced briefly toward the carnage outside before turning his focus back to the president. "And once I got you started," he said with a chilling grin, "it was easy to remove anybody who got in the way." With a tone of casual arrogance, Reverse Flash explained further, "Then it was a simple matter of rigging every vote in every election you ran in, until here you are, better than life as an extra on a soap opera." The president, his voice shaking with fear, finally managed to speak. "Oh God, what do you want?" Reverse Flash's answer was as bold as it was terrifying. "America, of course," he replied, his tone dripping with greed. "Diana has Britain, Greece, all those places. Arthur has the 7 seas and more. I want America. You can run it. That's why you're here. I just want to own it." The president's fate, along with the nation's, now hung precariously in the hands of a man who had orchestrated every step to take ultimate control. Suddenly, Cyborg launched a counterattack, unleashing a supersonic sound wave aimed directly at Reverse Flash. The room vibrated with the intense frequency as Flash recoiled in pain, shouting, "Ow!" But the pain didn't last long. Flash quickly regained his composure, his voice rising above the sonic onslaught. "If you can hear me over this," he sneered, "it's not a good idea to use sound against someone who can move 14,000 times faster than that and disrupt and control the EM spectrum." With a sinister smirk, he added, "Know what else I can do? Gah! Atomize you." In an instant, the confrontation ended in tragedy. Flash's overwhelming power proved too much for Cyborg, as he reduced his opponent to nothing, leaving only silence in his wake. Turning back to the terrified president, Flash's demeanor shifted, now eerily calm and composed. "Now, where were we, Mr. President?" he asked, as if nothing had happened. His expression darkened with a mix of amusement and menace. "Oh yes, you were giving me America." The president's fear was palpable, and Flash's absolute control was unmistakable. His chilling ambition loomed over the room, leaving no doubt about who held the power. The scene shifted to the White House, where the president broadcasted a message to the nation, standing side by side with Reverse Flash. His tone was resolute, yet uneasy. "He calls himself the Flash," the president began, glancing at the speedster with cautious admiration. "And given the power he's shown me, I have no doubt he'll fulfill his promise to end the Amazon and Atlantean threats to our shores." Flash smirked, his confidence undeniable. "Trust me when I say this," he added with a chilling calm. "They'll never see me coming." Meanwhile, in the shadows, Thomas Wayne, Batman, watched the broadcast with a heavy heart and a mind racing with doubts. His thoughts echoed the gravity of the situation. "He could be anywhere," Thomas muttered, his voice tinged with the burden of past failures. "Barry said, and we'd never even know." I wanted to believe Barry. I wanted the world to be the way he said it should have been. His voice faltered briefly, reflecting on the tragic loss. That only got him dead. But all the things Barry said he'd be able to do if he got his powers back. If Thawne is even more powerful, what does that mean? For the world? For me? The tension was broken by a sudden alert. Thomas's communicator buzzed, revealing an encrypted message from Victor Stone. The words displayed were ominous and urgent. Project Superman, classified ultra top secret. Thomas's expression hardened. The weight of the revelation hung in the air. The fight wasn't over yet, but the stakes had never been higher. At the White House, the president's nervous voice broke the tension. He cautiously addressed Reverse Flash, trying not to betray his growing fear. "Sir," the president began, choosing his words carefully. "I don't in any way want to rush you, but when do you think you might be able to do something about the Amazons and Atlanteans?" Flash, standing with an air of detached arrogance, responded with a sly grin. "It's been a week. We did promise, and it's an election year. Not that it would probably matter to you anyway." He paused for a moment, his tone shifting into something almost philosophical. "I'm taking a moment to consider the nature of hope. After all, hope is what made this world we find ourselves in. One man's hope made it. There's an audacity to that, something to admire." Flash's words grew darker, laced with disdain. "Everyone hopes, don't they? For a better life, more money, to be liked or appreciated, to avoid suffering. But these small, selfish wishes and prayers don't really matter, do they? Wishing doesn't make it happen. There is no God listening." He leaned closer, his voice dripping with malice. "So does hope only matter to those with the power and will to see them fulfilled? This place would seem to be a testament to that, wouldn't you say?" The president, visibly unsettled, struggled to comprehend Flash's cryptic musings. I'm sorry, sir," he stammered, "but I really don't know what you're talking about. I just don't want to die." Flash's expression shifted to a cold smile, his tone almost mocking. "Of course, I'd just bring you back anyway. You won't die until I'm ready to kill you myself." He leaned back, delivering his final chilling remark. "Take a little hope in that." The room fell silent, the weight of Flash's words hanging heavily in the air. His terrifying blend of power and nihilism left no room for doubt. He was in complete control. The conversation between Batman and Victor Stone continues, a mix of uncertainty and strategy hanging in the air. Victor's voice crackles through the communication line, speaking with a sense of scientific wonder. "Experimental data on this Superman subject are amazing," Victor says, his voice filled with intrigue. "I don't think they tested him anywhere near his limits. Don't think they dared to, but he might be as fast as Thawne, certainly strong and potentially indestructible. Gives him an advantage." Batman listens carefully, his mind already processing the possibilities. He replies, his voice steady but filled with skepticism. "An alien. Why would he be on our side? Fight for us? After all, humanity has kept him caged for his whole life. And if we release him, how do we control him? Appeal to his humanity?" Victor considers the question before responding thoughtfully. The psych evals suggest that might be the case. Yes, they've deliberately kept him isolated, alone, with no significant relationships, but he seems to want to form emotional connections. Batman's response is curt, indifferent. "Not my area." Victor continues, his tone shifting as he focuses on their next move. "Friendship. Going to get into the security systems. Be in touch soon." Suddenly, the air shifts with a familiar, unsettling voice. Reverse Flash arrives, breaking the conversation with a sneer in his voice. "So, Stone's still kicking about the ether? Must have backed up his brain. Clever," Flash taunts. "Think he's gone through all your files? Maybe you should delete your history?" Batman, unamused, turns to face him. "Thawne, running a president isn't keeping you busy?" Flash shrugs nonchalantly. "Oh, you know I can be here and there." The tension grows as Flash's presence lingers, his unpredictable movements always threatening, ready to turn the situation into something far more dangerous. Batman's voice cuts through the tense silence as he faces Reverse Flash, his words laced with a deep, personal anguish. Alan said his mother died, murdered, but she was alive now, and everything was different from how it should be. Said you'd killed her. Reverse Flash, with a chilling calmness, responds, I did. The really beautiful thing about this world being so deliciously screwed up isn't because I killed her, it's because he saved her. He hoped he could make things right, but he never understood that hope is never altruistic. It's selfish. He never understood that to get what makes his life better means others pay the price for his hopes and wishes. He pauses, the darkness in his words growing. I weave my way through time like the finest stitching on an exquisite tapestry of quantum probabilities. But Barry, he tore through it, beat his way through it like a savage with a club. He never saw how each ripple in the river of cause and effect creates the fragile balance of life, death, and purpose for everybody. I wanted to be like him once. Then I only wanted to beat him, but he did that to himself. Batman, his voice shaking with grief and frustration, responds, My son is dead, and my wife is insane. This whole world is tearing itself apart, all because you wanted to be better than him. Flash's reply is cold and triumphant. I am better than him. Look around you. I won. He's dead, and this nasty, fetid reality is a reflection of his failure. Batman, undeterred, speaks with the conviction of someone who has spent his life fighting darkness. I've spent a long time hunting the sick freaks who prey on humanity. And you're one of those. One of the worst. You think your intelligence and power make you better than others. You think you can manipulate everyone to your own purpose, but you don't even know what that is anymore. With Barry dead, your whole reason for existing died. You might be the most dangerous man in the world, and you don't even know why. You're just lost and confused. Flash, his voice dripping with disdain, retorts, And what about you? You're no hero. You're not trying to save the world or even your city. You're just a man obsessed with destroying criminals, screaming at the world, making it pay for your pain. I could kill every criminal in Gotham before you've taken your morning diazepam. What would be the point of you then? Who would be the object of your vengeance? Batman's response is sharp, his anger giving way to a grim determination. You're a danger to everyone. Flash's laughter is low, mocking. Me? You couldn't touch me. You'd never see me coming. I could kill you 1,000 different ways while you inhale your final breath. But Batman's answer is resolute, cutting through the tension. So why haven't you? Flash pauses for a moment before replying, his voice almost playful. Because you know. You're the only one other than me who knows that the world shouldn't really be like this. And I love that. Batman's voice grows heavy with the weight of loss and the burden of his own broken hopes. This is the way the world is. I saw my hopes for a decent world die when my son was gunned down. I want him back. I want my wife back. But I can't change the past. Barry thought he could. He wanted his mother back and his father freed, and the cost of that was my son's life and my wife's sanity. What would my price be, I wonder? He said he could change history, that you could. Reverse Flash confronts Batman with a question that cuts deep. And do you believe him? Batman's voice carries a weight of experience as he responds. He might have been misguided, but he seemed like an honest man, and I've seen too few of those in my life. Reverse Flash sneers, his tone turning cynical. Well, let me give you some honesty. I could change things, change history. I could change anything, anybody's life in any way I like. I could make this a completely different world, if I wanted to. Batman's gaze hardens, and the pain in his voice is undeniable. Bruce? You could save Bruce and Martha? Flash responds, cold and detached. Yes, I could. The question hangs in the air as Batman asks, his voice trembling with hope and desperation. Will you save them? Will you bring my boy back? Flash's reply is chilling, his words cruel and final. Not a chance, not a single hope, if you have any left. With those words, Reverse Flash runs away, but not before revealing his twisted understanding of Batman's obsession. I saw it in his eyes. I have him. A man that driven and obsessive, given just the slightest light of hope in this dark place, won't stop, ever. He'll burn down what's left of this world to change it, make it what he wants, what he needs it to be. He pauses, letting his words sink in, then continues with a dark reflection of himself. I have someone obsessed with hunting me, bringing me down, trying to make my life his to use. Someone who will stop at nothing to break me. See, Barry, now I am just like you. Deep beneath Metropolis, 200 meters below ground, the tension between Batman and Victor Stone is palpable. Batman's voice carries a hint of amusement, but there's seriousness beneath it. So do I need to call you something else now? Victor looks at him, puzzled. What? Why? Batman raises an eyebrow. Not exactly a cyborg anymore. Robot man. Robbie? Victor responds flatly. Victor will be fine. He pauses for a moment, then reveals the purpose behind his transformation. This is the first unit from a robotic army I was building for defense against the Amazons or Atlanteans. It will have to do until I can build something better. Batman, always calculating, presses him. I know why I'm doing this. I want Thawne stopped. He's no better than the Amazon or Aquaman. What's in this for you? Victor's response is measured, but his conviction is clear. For me, nothing. I just think there can be a better world than this one, that we can make it if we try hard enough. Batman, a man hardened by loss and driven by duty, looks away for a moment. I don't think I can allow myself that much hope. It wouldn't change the things that made me what I am. Victor pushes back, his tone resolute. We have power, and it should be our responsibility to use it to help those who don't, not dominate them. If we don't do this, Thawne, the Amazon and Aquaman won't care how many die as they carve the world up between them. Batman considers the gravity of the situation, his voice heavy with resolve. And we're going to release another being with power, maybe even greater than Thawne's or the others. That might be seen as desperate, but then maybe we're desperate men. It's certainly a desperate world. Victor nods solemnly. We're here. Flash stands amidst the devastation in Paris, his speed and power having left a trail of destruction. His voice, calm and cold, echoes through the silence, a chilling message to those who remain. I hope you can understand that none of this is personal. Flash begins, his words laced with a twisted sense of control. I've been very generous, lenient even. I could have killed every single one of you, but stopped at around 1,000 or so. A drop in the ocean for your people, really. He pauses, almost savoring the weight of his words. I could have killed every single one of you, but stopped at around 1,000 or so. A drop in the ocean for your people, really. Flash's gaze sharpens, his tone turning more pointed as he continues. But I need you fish folk and the Amazons to understand that there's a new power in the world. Me. He speaks with the arrogance of someone who believes they have the world at their feet. Now, I'm not greedy. I could have just wiped you and all of Atlantis from history and taken the whole world for myself. I still might one day, but I need to deliver a message personally. I think you get the point. Flash's eyes gleam with a sadistic satisfaction. It was a difficult choice which of you I'd pick to embody my approach to foreign diplomacy. In the end, I thought the Queen would be more reasonable. But you're a gift. Victor and Batman stand in the dimly lit Superman spaceship lab, preparing to free the prisoner who has been locked away for far too long. Victor speaks to Batman, his voice steady but urgent. Cover your ears, I'll smash his cell open. His skin is so pale, I don't think he's ever seen the sun. Batman, observing the situation closely, replies, that sonic blast hurt his ears. Thought you said his powers would be fine. He's acting like he's never seen a human. Victor turns toward the imprisoned figure, trying to reassure him. We're your friends. We're going to help you, get you out of here. Superman's voice, faint but steady, responds simply, okay. But the moment of relief is short-lived. Batman, always the strategist, interrupts. Guards coming. Lots of them. Down here. What's the matter with him? Victor's eyes narrow in concern. That green meteorite, giving off an unusual radiation. Need to get him away from it. He hurries, looking for answers. Where are you going? Batman, ever the investigator, replies, want to look in here. Might be something useful. Victor, understanding the urgency, warns, make it quick. Guards converging on this position. In the midst of the chaos, Superman speaks up, his voice filled with deep regret and pain. Please, don't kill them. Enough people have died because of me. Metropolis, all their experiments. Thousands dead, no more. Not because of me. Please, just get me outside, in the sunlight. I've heard it's beautiful out there. Flash, standing over the lifeless body of Atlantis' leader, makes his power clear to the Amazonian leader. With a cold and ruthless voice, he declares, you and your old gods are finished. America is mine. Stay away from it. There won't be another warning. The Amazonian leader, unyielding and defiant, responds, and if I don't? Without hesitation, Flash, displaying his sheer speed and dominance, runs off, shouting back, I won't be merciful. In a broadcast from Galaxy News, a reporter announces the latest developments. The White House today announced that following the Flash's killing of Aquaman and his further negotiations with the Atlantean and Amazonian forces, all hostilities are expected to cease with immediate effect. With America saved, what's next for the Flash and the world? Meanwhile, at Wayne Manor, Superman hovers in the sky, basking in the sunlight. Batman, ever watchful, asks, how's he doing? Victor, observing the scene, responds, never seen anything like it. Every minute of daylight for 5 days, he just hangs there, absorbing it all the sunlight. Something like 144 million watts of it, and his cells just process it. No telling how powerful he could get over enough time. Superman, now hovering near them, speaks with a newfound resolve. I think I'm ready. Remember what I said. Containment. No killing. Victor, prepared for what's to come, replies, right, locked and loaded. Batman steps forward with a clear sense of purpose, saying, here's the plan. At the northeast coast of America, the Flash surveys the horizon, his sharp eyes catching sight of the looming Atlantean ships. He speaks with a hint of concern. Atlantean ships as far as the eye can see, just sitting there. What are they waiting for? Something's changed, made them bolder. Suddenly, Superman bursts onto the scene, his super speed sending the Flash crashing through the air, all the way to the Adirondack Mountains in New York. The Flash, stunned but quick to react, realizes the gravity of the situation. That was Superman. I didn't see it coming. Fighting a Kryptonian is a whole other level than anybody else in this world. The Amazon and Aquaman don't even come close, he reflects. The Flash quickly regains his composure, knowing he's facing an entirely different challenge. Stop. Think. He could be coming from anywhere, any direction. He can fly. Look up. Can't let him land a solid punch. I'd be out in one. Push it all back, fast and hard. In a split second, the Flash retaliates, using his lightning-fast reflexes to hurl a massive stone towards Superman, shouting, half a mountain on him. Leave before he can. Heat vision, high-frequency photons, light speed. Gah! Can't aim at light speed, though. Without hesitation, the Flash blitzes Superman with a flurry of punches, each one landing with intense speed. Bomb, bomb, bomb. But Superman, unfazed, quickly catches on and delivers a powerful punch back. Try running up there, Superman taunts, showing his mastery over the battle. From a distance, Batman's voice cuts through the chaos. You're clear about the plan? Superman responds confidently. Yes, pretty simple. Use everything I can do to keep him off balance and focused on fighting me. Then get him up high and push him toward this exact point on the map. Victor, always calculating, adds, where we'll be ready. Victor and Batman watch intently as the battle between Superman and the Flash escalates. Victor, noticing the incoming threat, mutters, they are inbound. Damn, that was fast. You ready? Without hesitation, Batman responds, I'm ready. Superman delivers a crushing blow, pushing the Flash exactly where they had planned. With precision, Victor fires a supersonic sound blast, declaring, right on target, ultrasonics. They'll work if they are big enough. As the Flash feels the full impact, he lets out a pained scream. Ah! In a moment of desperation, Batman seizes the opportunity and activates the machine gun systems, unleashing a barrage of bullets at the Flash. Talk, 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 talk. The Flash yells in defiance. Damn it, Wayne. You'll pay for this. You think you've suffered before. I'll change every moment of your life from birth to death so your suffering lasts a lifetime. But Victor, realizing what Batman is doing, shoves him aside. Guns? What the hell are you doing, Wayne? We don't want him dead. Batman, cold and resolute, replies, I don't want him contained. I want him broken. I want him begging. I want my son. In a split second, Batman uses his electric bomb to temporarily stop Victor in his tracks. With his ammunition depleted, Batman pulls the trigger one last time. Pew, pew. But Superman, in a blur of speed, intercepts the bullets, saving the Flash. No killing, Superman says firmly. As the Flash feels the pressure lift, he reflects, last one missed it. He didn't. Then I feel it. Hope. With one gesture, one bullet, Superman shows me hope. Not for me, not my hope, but the hope he could bring to millions, billions on this world. And I feel every life changing because of it. Small quantum shifts, probabilities changing. From this moment stretching out hundreds, thousands of years, a legacy of hope, a true heroic age. And I can feel every second of every single life it affects. Batman approaches them confused. What's he doing? Superman simply replies, he just stopped. Batman, still cold and determined, speaks to Superman with urgency. Keep an eye on him. Be ready for anything. Superman nods, observing the Flash. He seems to be. But without warning, Batman raises his gun and shoots Superman directly in the head. I'm sorry, I can't let you stop me. Flash reacts with disbelief, his voice filled with despair. A single shot and all hope collapses. Victor, having rebooted his system, rushes toward Batman, his voice filled with rage. You killed him? Damn it, Wayne, we needed him. He could have saved the world. Batman stands firm, his voice cold and resolute. Not this one. I don't want this one. I want the one that has my son in it. Thawne can change anything. He can bring him back. I have to make him bring Bruce back. Victor, stunned by Batman's words, shakes his head in disbelief. You're insane, Wayne. We had a chance to. Suddenly, the skies darken as multiple spaceships descend from above, their engines roaring as they hover over the battlefield. The Amazon and Atlantis armies jump from the ships, landing with force, their voices echoing through the air. Give us the running man. Batman, tense and frustrated, speaks to Victor. He didn't stop him. He united them, against us. Victor, shaking his head in disbelief, replies, and you just shot the one chance we might have had to stop them. The leader of the Amazonian forces steps forward, her voice commanding and powerful. Drop all weapons and surrender. The Amazon-Atlantean Alliance claims America as their first conquest. The running man thought we would bow to his threats? He could not have been more wrong. We will build an empire that will span the stars. The galaxy will fall for us. He was right about one thing. The the old gods are dead. The Amazon leader's voice rings out, cold and authoritative, as she declares, "So we made a deal with some new ones." The implications of her words are clear. New allies have joined their cause, and Earth is now in their sights. Their eyes are set on another planet to conquer, leaving Earth as nothing more than a stepping stone. Batman turns to Flash, his voice filled with anger and frustration. "Look at what you've done. We can't stand against all that. It's your world, Thawne, or it's theirs. Do it, Thawne. Run." Flash, with a sense of determination, replies as he races off, "My world, mine." Batman, his gaze unwavering, speaks once more. "This is all righteously terrifying. It really is. But I'm smiling because you've all just lost this fight, and you won't even know it. And I planned for everything, even them." The army from another planet descends, signaling the final act in this battle for Earth's future. Flash, standing tall, reflects on his journey, his voice carrying the weight of his decision. "I should have done all this along. I was blinded by the need to play in the ruins of the world Barry Allen left behind, in what was left of his life. But it's not his world now. It's mine, always and forever." As the negative speed force begins to seep into every corner of this world, Flash continues, "My vision is clouding. The negative speed force is touching every part of this world, its history, people, and future, changing it, changing lives, changing everything as often as he likes over and over. An eternity of constant rebirth." For Eobard Thawne, free from his obsession with Barry Allen, a new vision has taken root. He sees the world not as it was, but as it should be, his perfect version. For a man who can live in the infinities between seconds, it is a world in a constant state of flux, shifting one detail at a time. Flash ponders whether there is hope in this new world. Is there hope here? There was for one man, Barry Allen, but it was his hope of changing his own life that changed everyone else's on this world. Power has shifted, reality has been reformed and reversed, but it hasn't been for the hopeful. It's all for one man, already twisted into darkness and obsession. Is it a better world than it was? For now, possibly. Tomorrow? That depends on all the yesterdays that Thawne will make. Back in Gotham City, a year ago, the same alley, the same tragic crime that shaped the Batman in every world. But in this reality, the tragedy is not the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne, but the loss of their son, Bruce. In this world, Thomas Wayne's greatest tragedy was losing his child, and with it, his reason for hope. What price does one man pay to fulfill his own hopes? Can a single man's vision doom so many others? Thawne's twisted gift to the Waynes has rewritten the course of history, creating a Gotham without a Batman, a city where his presence never was. The tragedy of one bullet, the shot that changed everything. Thomas Wayne's hope for a life without the shadow of Batman comes at a steep cost. A world where the very thing he hoped to avoid may lead to a darker future. What life lies ahead of Thomas and Martha Wayne now? I cannot see. It's Thawne's world now, and it's closed to me. The cycle of hope and loss, forever altered by the ripple of one decision. In the end, Flash stands firm, declaring with unwavering confidence, "It is my world, and if anybody tries to take it from me, I'll be ready." In this twisted reality, where choices have altered the fabric of existence, the man who controls time itself is determined to shape his own future, no matter the cost. Thawne has made the world his own, and now he will protect it, ready for any challenge that comes his way. A world reformed, controlled by the speed of thought, a future where no one can stand in his way.